It looks like my company is going bankrupt.
Oh, that sucks for you.
Why did the performance suddenly go south?
We were managing the finances before, but now it's too much for you to handle it yourself, right?
What are you talking about?
Don't you know who was keeping your business afloat?
Obviously, my employees.
At first, yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm Irene, a 52-year-old full-time homemaker. I used to be a banker before marriage. My husband Rob and I have 3 amazing daughters, and we live together with my mother-in-law. Since I got married young, my eldest daughter is already a full-grown working adult. The younger ones are both attending college. Rob runs a company he inherited from his late father. When we were dating, he was a caring and earnest boyfriend. But right after marriage, he changed completely. Well, maybe it was his true nature I was blind to all along. It was about 3 months after we got married.
Hey, didn't I tell you to iron my shirts?
Sorry, my morning sickness has been awful lately, and I can't move around much.
Listen, pregnancy isn't an illness. Don't slack off.
Fine, I will do it right away.
Jeez, you're such a useless wife.
Soon after we were married, I got pregnant and struggled with daily tasks due to a severe morning sickness. Instead of being concerned, Rob started to yell at me for it. My mother-in-law Diane, who was very quiet and reserved, obediently followed his lead. She never defended me and turned a blind eye from out of fear whenever I was berated.
Mom, she has become such a lazy wife because you spoil her.
Oh, okay. Irene, please do a better job from now on. Yes, Diane, I'm sorry. Conversations like that, where Rob criticized me and prompted her to follow his directives, happened almost every day. Even after the birth of my eldest daughter, his verbal abuse didn't stop. Instead, it got worse. When I was pregnant with my second and third daughters, he never lifted his fingers to help me. Despite morning sickness or struggling to move with my big belly, he scolded me not to use my pregnancy as an excuse and forced me to work. When he was in a foul mood, he even hurled objects at me. I've thought about leaving him numerous times due to the unbearable lifestyle. However, raising 3 small children alone while working would have been too difficult. I also worried about their emotional well-being and overall development in a single-parent household. Because of those concerns, I endured the hardship. Rob always desired a son to be his successor, but we only had daughters. Just because they are not boys, he had never shown any affection toward them. When they were all grown up, he constantly nitpicked about their life.
Jeez, did you buy new clothes again?
I bought them with the money I made from my part-time job.
If you have money to splurge, then contribute to the house.
It's normal to want to look nice at her age, you know. Let my sisters do what they want.
Shut up! You are a freeloader who doesn't even have a job, so don't talk so high and mighty.
I told you many times, but I'm a remote worker. I'm not a freeloader. Besides, I do contribute financially to the house.
Huh, whatever that means. By using a neologism, you think you can get away with it. You girls are all despicable.
My eldest daughter, Megan, worked in an IT-related field from home and contributed more than enough to our household expenses. She was a responsible, family-oriented girl who spoke her mind clearly, unlike me, who was unable to argue against Rob. However, he didn't recognize her good traits or the earnest efforts of our other daughters, who studied hard for their dreams. They disliked him since they were old enough to understand. Those weren't his only complaints about them. But he also scolded them for wearing makeup and going out with friends instead of working, just like he treated me. His attitude toward Diane remained the same.
Mom, why don't you say something instead of standing silent? I'm the only one who notices the flaws in this family. Seriously, give me a break.
You guys need to manage money wisely, okay? When Robin wasn't around, Diane was more of a supportive type, and truthfully, our relationship wasn't bad. Initially, I was frustrated by her passiveness, but after many years together, I came to know her well. It was heart-wrenching to see her being treated harshly by her own son. One morning, the whole family was gathered around the table for breakfast. Rob's mood was particularly foul.
Yuck. What's up with this coffee? It's like coffee-flavored water.
I made it weaker because your last health check showed high blood pressure.
Don't talk back.
Mom is making an effort for your health, so why do you have to scold her?
Don't interfere, you freeloader.
He was furious and hurled his mug, which flew towards Megan, striking her forehead and splattering coffee all over her. Oh my God, Megan! I immediately took her to see a doctor. Fortunately, there wasn't any cut or burn, but just a bump on her forehead. I felt a rage toward Rob that I'd never felt before. When we returned from the doctor, my younger daughters came running. Are you okay, Megan? You won't have any scars, right? The doctor said it was okay. Don't worry. Though Rob looked apologetic seeing their concerns, he uttered something unbelievable to Megan.
It's your fault for not dodging it.
It was the final straw.
Enough! What the? I'm done. I want a divorce. Oh yeah? I was fed up with you lazy cow anyway. Perfect. Let's divorce.
I brought out a filled-out divorce petition form, which I had kept in my drawer in case, and shoved it in front of his face.
I will submit it ASAP. Fine. But you know a stay-at-home wife like you can't survive after a divorce. Good luck.
You will see. I think you will need more luck than me, as it's going to be tough for you from here on.
Seriously, enough with the tough front. Hooray! Our marriage is finally over. Phew, I feel reborn. Oh, and take the brat with you. I will take the house and car as compensation.
Compensation, huh? Got it. A few days later, my daughters and I packed our things and went to my parents' house. I could endure the abuse as long as it was directed at me. But when Megan was harmed, I reached my limit and finally made up my mind to leave him. Upon arriving, my parents warmly welcomed us. I had never told them the truth about my marriage to avoid worrying them before, but I recounted everything that happened at that point. They were devastated and sounded almost disappointed that I didn't return sooner, but they quickly changed their tone and comforted me for putting up with him for so long. I felt a tremendous weight lifted from my shoulders and couldn't help but cry. A few hours later, Megan popped into my room. Mom, I have something I want to talk to you about. Sure, what's up? Well, it's about my job. I'm thinking of quitting remote work. Do you mean what I think you do? It's just as you are thinking, Mom. The incident with Dad really sucked, but now we are staying here. This is a good opportunity for me to change. We're no longer connected to that house, so it's up to you to do whatever you want. I thought so. Despite everything, He's still my dad, so I just wanted to chat with you first. In the days leading up to moving, I was fully occupied with preparing for the divorce and packing, which left me completely drained. However, having a positive conversation about Megan's intention brought me a sense of relief and comfort. 3 months after leaving Rob, I utilized the qualifications I diligently obtained during my time as a housewife and started working from home. After finishing my morning tasks, I took a break and opened my phone only to find over 100 missed calls in the call log. Megan advised me to have a separate phone for work, so I generally avoided checking my personal phone during work hours. It was an unprecedented number of missed calls. Opening the details, all of them are from Rob. It was a shocking amount of persistent calls, but I knew why. As I pondered the screen for a moment, yet another call came in from him, so I reluctantly answered.
Hello, Irene? You better explain to me what's up.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb.
He sounded quite agitated right off the bat.
It looks like my company's going bankrupt.
Oh, that sucks for you.
Why did the performance suddenly go south?
We were managing the finances before. You don't even know how to do them, right?
What are you talking about?
Don't you know who was keeping your business afloat?
Obviously, my employees.
At first, yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, initially, your employees handled the finances. But as the sales kept dropping, they sensed trouble and consulted me.
How is it possible to drop when most of the deals were from my dad's connections?
Those had all faded away. So Diane and I put our heads together to manage the company for its survival.
God damn it! Some incompetent employees messed up the deals.
What nonsense! It's because of your arrogance towards your clients that contributed to losing them. The sales were never as high as you imagined.
No way.
We managed to avoid losses by trimming down. But after deducting taxes and necessary expenses, like employees' salaries, the company's savings were almost zero. It turned out that Rob had no sense of business. Moreover, he behaved at work just like at home. Because of that, the trust his late father built with the clients crumbled quickly. Diane and I were handling the company's finances behind the scenes. He sounded unconvinced by the fact, but he continued.
And guess what? My house might get seized.
Well, that makes sense.
I might become homeless. Why is this happening all at once?
Maybe because you haven't been paying the mortgage.
If you are handling the finances, you should have managed the mortgage too.
Oh, please. With your company's sales, we couldn't cover it. Who do you think was paying for it?
Mom?
No, it was Megan, the one you called a freeloader.
What?
I doubt you ever listened, but she's running her own business, you know.
That can't be. A woman doing that.
Come on. There are plenty of female business owners out there nowadays.
It's probably not that big of a deal.
She started our venture company right after university. It did well right from the start, and she wanted her own office. But once she found out about the loan, she turned our home into her office and paid it for us.
Then why is the house suddenly getting seized?
It hasn't been used as an office anymore since she moved out, right? So why would she continue to pay?
Well, then just come back and use it as an office again.
Too bad. She already has a proper space she rented and doesn't work remotely anymore.
What the heck is she doing without my permission?
It's her own company she set up. So is it normal she decides?
No, she should have consulted me, her father first.
After making her shoulder the loan for years, you've got some nerve saying that.
I'm her daddy, you know. It's time to pay back for raising her.
Continuing in a frantic and demanding tone, he was desperate, trying to somehow get help. But the conversation became increasingly incoherent from here on.
Then let her take over my company and rebuild it. The younger ones can handle her business, right?
They both have dreams of becoming a doctor and a lawyer. Don't get our children involved in your drama.
You're just a homemaker, so don't order me around.
I'm actually working now. I got a qualification as a financial planner, using the accounting experience for your company and as a banker before.
What's that?
In simple terms, I'm a money professional. I'm currently working in financial consulting. The fact that I'm where I am now is, in a way, thanks to you.
It's just a frivolous thing anyway, right?
If that's what you think, that's fine. I don't owe you any explanation.
You've gotten quite conceited.
Anyway, we have no intention of helping you at all. I hung up in the heat of the moment, and for the next few days, there were no calls from him. But a week later, he reached out to me again.
Hey, when are you going to pay the loan?
It's in your name, so you should be paying it, right?
I received this house as a compensation from you, so you should pay the loan too.
You decided that yourself. And to begin with, I have no fault in paying you any compensation. You ruined the family.
That was you, you know.
What are you talking about? You've been involved in an affair with one of your female clients, right?
How do you know that?
Her husband seems to be furious, so good luck dealing with him. I had an inkling about his affair for a while. Frankly, I didn't want to get into a long drawn-out battle, so I had no intention of claiming alimony. However, the woman's husband was extremely upset and contacted me to confirm the facts. I informed him that I was already in the process of divorcing Rob and had no intention of engaging in a legal battle. He was free to act as he wished. Later, I heard there was some altercation between them, and apparently, Rob was warned to stop the affair or face consequences. He also had to take out a loan to make the mortgage payments. However, his company eventually went bankrupt. His house was seized, and he ultimately became homeless. As for Diane, I had informed my brother-in-law of the situation when I left. Therefore, she had already moved in with his family and managed to avoid being involved in Rob's scandal. To tell you the truth, she had also suffered severe emotional abuse from her late husband. Rob grew up just like him and treated her and me in the same manner that his father did. Diane, despite being hurt by Rob's actions, always supported him. After all, he was still her son, no matter how badly he treated her. But at the time of our separation, she reached her limit as well. My brother-in-law grew up with the opposite personality from Rob and had always been concerned about her. He and his wife had always asked her to move in with them, but Rob didn't allow it. Perhaps he was eyeing her inheritance. His plans completely fell apart later on. Diane, my daughters, and I kept in touch, and she told us what happened.
Mom, please help me. My house has been taken away, and I'm drowning in debt.
Yeah, I heard.
You've received a lot of Dad's inheritance, right? Give it to me.
Sorry, Rob. That money was already gifted to your brother and the grandchildren.
What?
You are my beloved son, and I didn't want to abandon you. But your behavior so far has been so terrible that I no longer see you as my son.
You're kidding, right?
He thought he could rely on her inheritance, but he had already given it away. In the end, what was left for him was just a crumbling company. He was pushed away by his mother, who was his last hope, and found himself deeply in trouble. Since his company closed down, he has been working part-time at a factory, struggling to repay debt. He now leads a lonely life in an apartment. As for me, I live happily with my parents and daughters. My second daughter will soon start her residency in a nearby hospital, and my youngest will be a rookie lawyer. Megan finally has her own office. The number of employees is increasing as her business grows. It's incredible you have such a nice office. I'm so proud of you. I've come this far because of you and Grandma. What do you mean? You guys work hard to rebuild Dad's company, right? Yeah, it was really tough at that time. Seeing that, I thought I should also work hard for my family, so I started the company. You saw it that way? Also, it was to show off that male chauvinist father of ours. I see. But to be this successful, it's quite an achievement for sure. I guess I have more business sense than Dad, huh? Clearly, you win hands down, no matter how you look at it. My daughters went through hard times, but they've grown into such kind-hearted girls who always think of me. I've managed to endure this far thanks to them. My own job has taken off, surpassing the salary I earned as a banker before. And now, I have a comfortable life without much hardship. When I was with Rob, we led a frugal life. I couldn't buy things I wanted and wasn't even allowed to freedom of shopping or going out. I still try not to splurge, but having money and time to spend freely certainly enriches life. I'm still in touch with Diane, who is enjoying a peaceful life with her youngest son and his wife. She endured her late husband's and Rob's emotional abuse for years, but knowing she's finally able to live comfortably brings me a huge relief. My marriage was tough, but now being surrounded by people I love and seeing my daughters thriving in their own lives brings me the greatest joy.